Okay, it's finally time for me to get to the Q&A. How we're going to start this off, we're going to take a look at some of the personal questions I was asked, then look at some YouTube questions, and some miscellaneous ones. And then for the next couple of parts, we'll take a look at anything to do with TV, movies, and games, where we get to the big category of the Thomas questions. So, here's our first question. What is your favorite holiday and why? My favorite holiday is Christmas, to nobody's surprise. It may sound sappy to some, but it's true when I say I absolutely love that festive time. I like being with my friends and family, and it also gives me a chance to really reflect on how well life is for me, despite the many downs I've had. How do you deal with hate? I've had my fair share of haters over the years, and back then it would usually become a fight fest in the comments. So, I usually do one of two things. If I get a comment from someone and they're being snippy about my content, then I go sarcastic back. That's basically my way of saying, fuck off and stop wasting my time, or your time, with these petty-ass comments. But sometimes I'll get comments from people who think they're insulting me, but they can't English worth a shit, and it comes out as gibberish. Those I simply delete. I hide the user from my channel, and I move on. That's probably the most decent thing I feel like anyone should do. Just don't get involved in any of the bullshit unless you really have to. Favorite fruit? Apples. Have you ever thought about visiting Halifax and seeing the Theodore display at the Maritime Museum? Oh, dude, that's a bucket list dream of mine. I'm dying to go and see them. I was actually invited twice to go with another group a few years ago, and just recently, but financially I just wasn't able to. I'm really hoping, though, one of these days I will finally have my chance. Have you ever been to Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm? If so, which are your favorite rides? I've not been to either one. What's your favorite dinner meal? Well, it used to be a ham steak, but I've not had it in such a long time, so now I have another favorite. My mom once in a while makes this mixture of pasta, sausage, broccoli or green beans, and tomato, and oh my god, it is the bomb. I would recommend making this for yourself. It's so good. What is your favorite book? I could be completely biased here and say anything from the Harry Potter series, but I'm not, because I've not read all the books. But one that I do consider a favorite is a book called Anna Dressed in Blood. I would highly recommend reading this book. Have you ever been to the United Kingdom? No, but I would love to one day. What was it like to meet Brian O'Connor, Schemer? Well, I didn't actually meet him per se. I spoke to him over the phone when I was at the anniversary event in Edison, and even though it was for only a few short minutes, I had a lovely conversation with him, and I would really like to speak to him again one day if I absolutely could. Would you like to go to the Audrey Extravaganza? It never usually crossed my mind, but yeah, maybe one day I'd like to go, just to see what it's like. What are your top 5 pet peeves? Number 5, politics. More specifically, people who end their friendships over them. Number 4, edgelords. Number 3, toxic fans of popular people. Number 2, fear-mongering. And number 1, people who use their disabilities to get out of trouble. What is your dream car? I don't have a dream car because I'm actually very terrified to drive and I don't know if I ever will. What is your biggest fear? I have many different fears. I fear mice, snakes, sharks, any kind of bad weather. But I think my biggest fear is upsetting those who I really care about. I don't like to let people down because it eats away at me and it makes me feel so terrible. Have you seen any Broadway shows? No. Domino's or Pizza Hut? I'm sorry, but both pizza joints are kind of garbage. Favorite type of music? I either like pop or country. If you could learn any language, what would it be? Easy. Spanish. I took Spanish in school, and with all the Hispanic families that live in my area now, it would actually be nice to be able to communicate with all these families in their native language. How have you been over the last year? I've been doing pretty good. I've been taking it easy, a little longer than what I originally planned, but I'm trying to keep myself busy with other projects, but also I've been focusing on my new relationship mostly, and I'm so happy. If you were a mythical creature, what would you be? Well, because my mother has me on a big House of the Dragon phase, I would definitely want to be a dragon. What's your zodiac sign? My zodiac sign is Cancer. What's your favorite Queen song from each of the albums in order? I can't tell you each of my favorite songs because I've not listened to every single one of their albums as of yet. Who's your favorite band member of Queen? Duh, Freddie Mercury. Have you ever wanted to go to Australia and see the Wiggles in person for their OG Wiggles tour? I don't know about traveling to Australia, but if they did more tours here in the States, then yes, I would love to see them in concert. It's been one dream of mine for years and I've just never had my chance. Sounds like a bit of a pipe dream, but hey, we'll see what happens. What are your favorite candies? Gummy worms, mini M&Ms, Tootsie Roll Pops, Milk Duds, Gummy Krabby Patties, Crackles, and Crunch Bars. Most random idea you've ever had. You want to talk about random? There was one day I was in a very silly mood of mine, and way back when, I made a random video of the Wiggles dancing to Ain't Nobody Got Time for That. I'm not kidding. Hornby or Bachman? Bachman, I'm not into Hornby. Favorite superhero? Does Shazam count? Have you ever had a time in your life when you really liked something but were too shy or embarrassed to tell anyone? Oh, absolutely. There's a particular point when, after I was being teased for liking Thomas and Theodore when I was in school, I was trying to hide it from everybody and pretended that I completely moved on from it. Until I reached my final year, and when I was explaining to certain people what those two shows meant to me personally, they accepted it. And they told me to just do whatever made me happy. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the past 10 years that I've been out of school. Favorite pizza? Sausage or margarita? If you could go back in time to a specific year, what year would it be? 2013. Easiest friggin' school year of my life that I would have loved to have for all 12 years when I was in school. Do you collect Funko Pops? As a matter of fact, I do. In fact, here's a picture of all the Pops that I currently have in my collection. What non-English speaking countries would you like to visit? Maybe Japan. Favorite sport? Volleyball. Chips Ahoy or Oreos? I'm a Chips Ahoy gal all the way, but if they're available, I only eat the golden Oreos. Favorite soda? Sprite. Do you like arts and crafts? Yes, I do, actually. It's been a hot minute since I made anything, so that is going to be something I do have to get back into. Favorite color? Colors. Red, blue, and black. What would you do if you had a chocolate river like Willy Wonka? I'd probably try to drink it all, and then I'd end up being over 300 pounds, Lamau. What is your favorite tradition at Christmas? So, this is a German tradition that we usually do. We have this pickle ornament that my dad hides within somewhere in the tree, and whoever participates, you have to find the pickle, and whoever does, you're basically blessed with good fortune throughout the whole year. And there's sometimes a small dollar prize. Do you like to swim? Yes, I do. And let's just say I'm a natural-born swimmer made for the water. How do you feel about your videos getting automatically flagged as made for kids? Ugh, it's a huge pain in the ass, honestly. I've not had a lot of my recent videos get flagged, but more so my yearly long ones are the ones that are being targeted as made for kids. Like, I don't understand. Why now? What is the point of flagging a video that barely anybody watches from years ago? I hate the fact that these numbskulls at YouTube are so freaking lazy that they require robots to do their damn jobs. Like, you could put out a video of whatever kind and there could be cursing or whatever, and YouTube could turn around and be like, oh, but it's animated and animation only applies to children, therefore it's made for kids. Like, fuck off. Here's something I think we can all agree on. We should be able to decide what content on our channels is made for kids or not by some random-ass robot. This whole thing with COPPA is a bunch of bullshit, if you ask me. What is the best and worst video you made on YouTube? I wouldn't say I have a best video, because most of my content I think is good for what I do. But as for the worst video I've made, it's no longer here, but probably my rant on AEG when I watched the first episode. I really don't know why I even bothered doing that. What is your favorite review you've worked on? Definitely the 10 Years of Thomas one. What is the next classic series tape you're going to review next?
Spoilers.
What releases are you planning to cover in 2025?
Again, spoilers.
Will you cover more episode reviews? Yes, I have every intention to do more of them. I simply just got lazy and focused on other projects, but they will be back, don't worry. Are you going to continue the Theodore Tugboat commentaries? Yes, I am. Admittingly, I'm still kind of stuck on writing something for Theodore's Tough Tugging. I don't know why I'm struggling so bad on this one, but I think I may have to go back and rewatch it just a few more times to come up with something. But I'm also in the process of redoing certain episodes because of either mic quality or people I'd rather not be associated with. But I will get back to them soon, I promise. What persuaded you to start your own YouTube channel? When I used to come across all different kinds of videos back in the day, music videos, redubs, video essays, etc., I figured, well, if these people can do that, well then surely I can. And in the beginning I had a very rocky first start when I first made some of my old videos, but as time passed, I got better and better at it, and I hope to continue that. Who made that Markiplier Thomas mix? Why, I did, of course. I love to make mashups like this, and I do plan to make some more in the future. Do you like the Railways of Crotunia? Yes, but admittingly though, I'm not exactly caught up with that series. I have to go back and I have to rewatch a lot of those episodes. Thoughts on Jacksepticeye? Love him as much as I do Markiplier. What's your favorite Markiplier video? The Dry Ice Popsicle Challenge. If you haven't seen this, go watch it. It's funny as hell. When did you start your channel? My current channel I started all the way back in November 2016. But, did you guys know I actually had 2 channels before this? My very first one was in 2013 when I was just fresh out of high school, which didn't really last long. I was copyright striked for some VeggieTales episodes I was trying to upload, because I didn't know at the time how much that show was very heavily copyrighted, so I lost that one. Either that same year, or 2014, I think is when I had my second channel, and that ran for a good 2-3 years until Mattel went on their takedown spree, and my channel was terminated for Thomas episodes. Since then, I've had this current channel up for almost 10 years, and I'm very happy where things are for me. Will you cover the movies as part of the VHS DVD reviews? No, I think those are going to be their own separate videos when I get round to doing them at some point. Are there any shows you'd like to cover that isn't Thomas? Yes, there's tons of different shows that I would like to cover, but my only fear is that I would have done all that work for nothing if it gets very little attention. Because it does kind of piss me off a little that most of my subs are here for one thing only, and even though my channel is mainly Thomas focused, I don't want that to always be the topic of interest. I want others to know, yeah, I do have other interests that I would like to talk about. I'm still going to push for that opportunity, but I just hope my fears don't turn out to be as bad as I think. What videos are you proud of? I'm proud of all my videos, but I'm particularly fond of my Thomas and Percy model remake, On My Way MV, all my song rankings, my Shining Time MV, the Thomas's Halloween Adventures review, Night Train, James, Toby, Don't Judge a Book, Navigation, the 10 Years of Thomas review, my YTP entry, my Terror Time MV, my tribute to Brit, and my latest song cover. What is the best Theodore Ertl and what is the worst? I think the worst one is probably Ertl Rebecca, and I say that because of the amount of detail she's missing compared to her TV model, but I think I understand why they did that. As for the best Ertl, I think I'm gonna give that to George, as I think he's one of the most accurate looking. Favorite Theodore Tugboat merchandise? That would be my changing faces of Theodore and Hank. If you were given the opportunity to rewrite Theodore and the Homesick Rowboat, how would you rewrite it? Well, for starters, I guess not make our boat so gloomy, because most of the time he's just complaining throughout the whole episode. That doesn't sound like homesickness to me. And I would also rewrite how Theodore behaves throughout the episode, as I'm not exactly the biggest fan of how he believes he can just do anything on his own, while also shoving Hank to the side. I feel like if you just tweak this story a bit, then it'd be fine. Summer or winter? Oh, I'm definitely a summer person. If your OC was humanized, what would be your style? Well, if you remember, I do have my own anime OC, and this is how I would normally walk around. Complete casual clothing, my signature NASCAR hat, and, if on my person, my headphones. Think it would be cool if Theodore Tugboat were redrawn to fit the Tugs universe style. No offense, but I really don't want to see that. That would be completely unnerving to see Theodore done in the style of Tugs. Humanize Thomas, Theodore, and Tugs. Yay or nay? I'm gonna lean a little more towards nay. I'm not big into humanized characters like that. And finally, which Hogwarts houses could you see Theodore and his friends being sorted into, including Oliver for the lulz? Well, Oliver would be a Slytherin, like, no duh. Theodore and Hank are both definitely Gryffindor. Phodak, I'm leaning a little towards Hufflepuff, and I feel like George and Emily, I can kind of see them in Ravenclaw. Alright, first part of the Q&A done. I will see you guys in the next video where we talk about TV, movies, and games.